and that is at the U.S. Capitol, where King Charles III will be delivering an address to a joint session of Congress. Interesting timing. This visit had been planned for months, but it comes at a time during the war in Iran where relations between the U.S. and the British Prime Minister have gotten a little bit rocky in terms of trying to get more support for the operations in Iran. A short time ago, I had a chance to talk to U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar about this relationship, along with her guest for this afternoon's joint address, a longtime Minnesotan who keeps his native country of Britain alive in downtown Minneapolis. Here's a portion of that interview. Joining us now ahead of the joint session of Congress and the speech by King Charles III is U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar and her special guest, Shane Higgins, the general manager of Brit's Pub in Minneapolis, an iconic destination for Brit enthusiasts all over the place. Thanks for joining us.
Sure. Thank you.
Well, first of all, Senator, why Shane? Obviously, the connections there. Brit's Pub is a landmark, for, Anglophiles. But is there anything other deeper here to bring in Shane along?
Shane is our own British royalty in Minnesota, and we think of Brit's Pub as our kind of, as he says, our British embassy in the state. But more seriously, this is an opportunity for our country to reaffirm our strong relationship with Great Britain, one of our best allies. You go back to World War II, we won the war together. You go to the modern day, where for Minnesota, they're one of our top 10 trading partners, and we have a lot of relationships with Great Britain. And so, and I also understand that maybe the King roots for the same football team as you do. I don't know that, but I'll let Shane explain that. But it is, this relationship is really important, and at a time when there's a lot of divide in our politics, you're going to see people coming together to support that strong friendship with Great Britain. And I couldn't think of a better guest to exemplify that than Shane.
Shane, have you had a chance over the years then to meet now King Charles before, or see him or any of the other royal family?
I have not, unfortunately. Just want to thank Senator Klobuchar for inviting me, because it's, for me, it's surreal. It's a huge privilege for a guy from a small town in England to be going to the joint Congress to see King Charles. So it's amazing.
How do you explain to people the what the royal family and the monarchy and that history means? I mean, obviously there's debates over whether there should be a royal family or the monarchy should continue, but it still remains to be an important kind of cornerstone of British society. How do you explain that to people?
Well, it's been hundreds, thousands of years. So yes, there is debate. There always is. There's always going to be. But I think deep down, the country as a whole, really identifies with the monarchy and very proud of it.
Yeah. Senator Klobuchar, obviously you referred to the relationship, the special relationship, it's in our vernacular, coined by Winston Churchill in 1946. And we've seen, that relationship continue with President Reagan and Prime Minister Thatcher, certainly President Clinton and Prime Minister Tony Blair. Now there's been some, President Trump has kind of cast some remarks here saying that maybe that relationship isn't what it was. How important is this moment right now with King Charles speaking to Congress?
It's very important, because there are people in the Congress, including Democrats and Republicans, that don't agree with some of the tariff wars that are going on across the world, or believe that we should have better relationships with these countries. And I'm glad that I'm not going to the state dinner. I'm glad there's going to be a state dinner. And this event in Congress will not include the administration. This is just the leadership of Congress inviting the King to hear from him about what's happening in England and that great relationship. I get to be in the greeting committee, so I'll actually get to speak with him ahead of time. And Shane will have a pretty good seat, I've made sure, in order to see the King. And, this is just we do this not with every foreign leader. It's very particular foreign leaders that come in and meet with the Congress, and I'm really looking forward to it just because of the question that you asked, these torn relationships across the world. A lot of us want them repaired, and this is one way that we extend that olive branch of friendship.
Yeah, and obviously this trip planned before, been in the works for months, and the royal family and the king in this case keeps out of matters of politics. But in some of the notes shared by Buckingham Palace, he will say things like our two countries have always found ways to come together. So clearly there's going to be a message of making sure that this relationship is either repaired or continues on.
That's right. And I think he knows that there are people in Congress that may have different views than the president when it comes to foreign relations. And he also knows that he's going to try his best to work with the administration. Both things have to happen. And, I would just love to get in a better place on our trade situation. Minnesota is a big export state. We're fourth in the country for ag exports. And I actually met with one of the deputies to the foreign minister at our state fair 2 years ago to talk about the possibility of doing even more trade with Great Britain for Minnesota. And I think that could be in our future.